President Joe Biden tackled a variety of topics in last night's State of the Union address, the last before the presidential election. He spoke about IVF protections, a strong economy, and repeatedly warned about the threats to democracy. Tonight, we're on your side verifying some of the president's claims. First, on the economy.
Inflation has dropped from 9% to 3%, the lowest in the world and tending lower.
This claim, as you hear, has two parts. First, it is true that inflation peaked at 9% in June of 2022 and has since fallen to 3%. That is lower than much of the world. For instance, in the UK, inflation remains above 4%, but it's not the lowest in the world. Several countries have lower inflation rates. For example, in Canada, it's 3%. The next topic, reproductive freedom.
The Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state.
Now, that is false. The Alabama Supreme Court issued a ruling declaring that frozen embryos are legally considered children, and that caused confusion with several clinics pausing their IVF services. But the ruling did not actually ban IVF statewide. Alabama has now passed a law to make it clear doctors will not face criminal prosecution for offering IVF. And finally, the last topic is democracy.
Now my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, do whatever the hell you want.
That's true. Last month in a campaign rally, former President Trump claimed that when he was president, the leader of a NATO member country asked him, what would you do if that country did not fulfill its financial obligations to the alliance? The former president said he told this leader he would encourage the Russians to do whatever they want, using that expletive. So for more fact-checking of the claims from the president's address, you can search for this Verify on firstcoastnews.com. And the First Coast News team is always on your side, taking your claims, finding sources, and getting you answers. So what do you want verified? Let us know. We'll check into it and dig around. Email verify@firstcoastnews.com.